Oh, hello, darlings. How are you? Yes. How are my lovely fellow humans? Yes, are you all doing well? Welcome. Welcome, my fellow humans. Yes, Kay. Hello, darling. Kay. My dear friend Kay has been kind enough. I have to be away for a week. I will still be working, by the way. It doesn't affect anything. It's just that I've got to be out of town. Thank you, Kay. All bookings are the same. Nothing's changed. It doesn't affect you. It just affects Kay, my friend Kay, travel. Yes. So I have to leave early, Kay. I have to be at the airport at 7 in the morning on the 10th, but you don't need to be here at 7 in the morning. How am I going to get you the key? I could get you the key the night before or something like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. You're going to have to let me back in, Kay, when I get back in from the States. Be prepared for a cat that bites. Yes, she bit. She bit the last person, Mila. You need to be nicer. Yeah. I'm doing a little traveling. I'll be in Houston and then I have to get back to Mexico. There's something I'm doing over there, but I'm working the whole time. I mean, I'm seeing my patients. Everything is through Zoom and it doesn't affect anything. So, um, yeah, you know me, I'm a restless spirit. So, how is everybody doing? Looks like we've got 59 beautiful people here. We are slowly finding our way into the stream. For those of you who don't know what is happening, this is our Sunday get together, and we all get together and we have a brunch. This brunch extends to the four corners of the earth, which is nice. It's nice when our love and compassion takes us all over the world. Just going to zoom it in so you'll be able to see the cards better. Get a nice zoom in for you all. See my name here? Yes, might as well give myself a little shameless promotion. Yes, I am the great and powerful Dr. Whimsy. So we have been talking a lot lately about travel. As many of you know, I do travel a lot, which is why I never have any money. We've been talking about whether or not it's time for you to stay where you're at. This is the energy that's coming up a lot, that things change. Sorry, I've got a frog in my throat. I can tell it's right. Most of the allergy's gone because I've been running an air filter. So that helps a lot. So the question is, spiritually, at this time in the Earth's orbit, atmosphere, a lot of people may be feeling restless. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. That restless kind of go sow your wild oats, that feeling you had when you were younger, you may feel that it's coming back again because of this energy that's starting to hit. A genuine agitation, a feeling like I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. Anybody having that? Or are some of you saying, I feel absolutely great. I don't want to go anywhere. In which case, we envy you. All right, so today we are raising money for the month of June. We are continuing our fundraiser for senior dogs, which we started last week. If anything that I am saying is even remotely entertaining to you, then think about donating to our charity today, Forever Home for Senior Animals. We do appreciate the donations we receive here. Um, the announcements. Yes, I've got to get the announcements ready. Excuse me. All right, so announcements, 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 announcements. Yes. How is everybody? We have just finished up. We have a Book of the Month club for those of you who don't know and you'd always wanted to join a Book of the Month club. We have one here. Our Book of the Month club is for small independent writers, people who often, need a little help getting promoted. So people that are fans, people that watch the channel. Many of them are writers. If you are a writer and you'd like us to consider your book for the Book of the Month Club, please send your book to me, care of Dr. Whimsy Anderson, the Oracle of Whimsy, whatever. And then we will consider your book for our Book of the Month Club. Isn't that nice? You can send it to 1819 Southwest 5th Avenue, Suite 116, Portland, Oregon, 97201, and maybe your book will be selected for our Book of the Month. Thank you to John Gerald for donating $20 to our fundraiser for senior dogs that we're running. So, as many of you know, our Book of the Month was The Sunny Side of Crazy by Trisha Micucci. We're very excited to speak to her. She was traveling, but we're going to reschedule hopefully soon so that she can be in our studios to answer all your questions about multiple personality disorder and what inspired her to write this book. Is it fiction? Is it semi-autographical? Those are the questions that you folks had for her, and she'll be in our studios hopefully soon to answer all those questions. All right, so coming up for the month of June, we are now in the month of June. It is very exciting, and with the month of June, we get to announce that there is a new book of the month. Yes, isn't that exciting? A new book of the month, and this month it is In Search of the Sun: One Woman's Quest to Find Family in Japan. I'm always attracted to books about finding ourselves, finding our identity. Yeah, Sunny Side of Crazy is very, very good. And it's absolutely fascinating. I don't think 30 minutes is going to do justice to that interview, so we might extend it. This next book is an exploration of the self. What is culture? What is family? What shapes our sense of identity? Many of us feel torn between identities. I know I do. As a secular Jewish person, I'm more Buddhist than anything else. You can see my nice Buddhist altar in the back. This is real, by the way. This is a real background. That's my altar. You can always tell if it's real or not, because if it's real, the candles move, right? If the candles move, then you know it's real, right? Yes, we gotta do this. Oops, I just spilled some. Yes, you see. This is real stuff. Yeah, so I always can tell, like, if I'm having a rough week or not a rough week, uh, because it's usually based on, how my spiritual practice is doing. Anybody else feel that? Like, who here has tried to have a consistent spiritual practice? Saying the rosary is always really nice. Chanting, if you're an Orthodox Jew, trying to do, your prayers, shakrit. Just want to make sure everything's plugged in properly because I'm looking a little strange. So give me a second here. All right, I think it was a little unplugged. Yes, that improves it. The purple label is people who is the leaderboard of questions, I think, and then it starts up again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I think it's a visual aid because many of us are blind, and it's supposed to help me find out what question is coming up, or if a question's been repeated, or things of that nature, I think. So let me go ahead and yes. So just this is the new book for June, and it's a story about forging family across dividing oceans, cultures, and self-doubts. I love this. Who here feels that they're torn between different cultures, different identities, that sort of thing? Lisa Lowitz. She's published 20 books in many genres, including Up from the Sea. Ah, she lives in Tokyo with her teenage son. She has a Japanese husband, 2 wild dogs. Oh my God. She owns the Sun Moon Yoga Studio, Tokyo's coolest place to reach nirvana. Wow, what an awesome woman. So that is our book of the month. So that'll be exciting. I know you're all excited to get that. What's going on with me is I'm learning how to use cameras. I don't know how to use a camera. These newfangled cameras. So that is what I'm going to deal with. I'll be in Murado, Mexico, June 10th until the 17th. So that'll be interesting. My schedule is still open. I'll still be seeing clients. Nothing's changed. I'm just going to go visit, look around. It's got a nice expat community. I am leaving the United States. That was a decision that I made. I know this is a conversation that we've all been having, is whether or not we should leave the United States or stay. And right now I'm preparing to leave the United States for a number of reasons. But it isn't because I don't like the president. That's not why. It has to do with things like my retirement and guns, and regardless of who the president is, we have a gun problem. And I can't live in a country where I'm constantly afraid I'm going to get shot, or I've had family members shot and killed. This is not normal. This is not a normal country. We have the highest rate of gun violence anywhere in the Western world. I don't want to live in a country with high rate where everybody can walk around with a gun. I don't think that's natural, normal, healthy. It doesn't. That's the main reason, is the violence, the gun violence. The second, it has to do with the economy and the fact that if you move to another country, you may find that your dollar stretches. And if you're thinking about your retirement, if you move to Bogota, retirement in Bogota, Colombia, you're going to be, your dollar is going to go 3 times as far. Or Ecuador. So I've seen some beautiful places in Nicaragua. I love Granada in Nicaragua. I almost thought of moving there. The point is that yeah, I just want a peaceful life. I'm looking for many things. One of the things I'm looking for is air quality. You guys know that I I have not the best lungs. I'm always having allergies to things. I chose a place. I'm choosing places that are known for extremely good air quality. I'd like to live to 100. And so that means I have to align myself with environments that are going to prolong my life. And first and foremost is to find a place with good, clean air. So that's the first thing I'm looking for is clean air. Clean air, low crime, and good cost of living. And I don't want it to be overrun by expats. Some expats is fine, but I don't want us to be, the ugly Americans that have come in and begun to take over. But so, in terms of when I'm leaving the United States, unless things change, it will be mid September. Yeah, mid September. I'm going to put everything in storage and move to Mexico with my cat. Hmm. Have carrier will travel. She's very portable, a portable kitty. She's very special. Hmm. Well, there are direct flights to Murado. It's 7.5 hours. And so she goes to her vet and she's going to get her checkups. And then they give her a little mild something, nothing serious, to help her sleep. So she'll sleep for about 6 or 7 hours, and then she'll probably wake up before we land, wanting to use the kitty litter box, which is going to be interesting. I have to take a portable. And she's gotten used. At first, she freaked out when we began traveling together, but she's gotten slowly used to it. She's gotten slowly used to it. Yeah. And I just kept saying, if you can see me, you are not lost. I am your home. I kept projecting to her, you don't have to be frightened of where we're at because I am home and home is portable. And I kept saying, because she was like freaking out, we'd go to a hotel. Oh my God, my world is coming to an end. Where the hell am I? My sense of self has been lost, you know? But after a week or two of traveling, she started to get into it. Okay, what's the hotel this week? Yeah, 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 yeah. She has this voice that she makes when I can handle it. She actually goes, yeah, 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 and runs ahead of me. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's check out the digs. Yeah, yeah. So we were staying in Seaside right before we got to Portland. We'd been traveling for about a week, and that's how she started to get when we got to Seaside. Okay, yeah, yeah. And then she decided she loved it. She hid under the bed in the Seaside Hotel. Something about that hotel she liked. I think because it was on the ground floor, it was close to the ocean, which she loved, and the floor was like cement. It was like easy to clean because it was like a motel hotel ground floor, and she just loved it. She loved the she was like jumping up and down, and then she hid under the bed because I realized that once she stopped being afraid, she was on a vacation too. She's like, this is great. I get extra treats. They took me out in my carrier to see the ocean. And she was just like, oh my God. And then she had this huge hotel to prance around in. So when we said, okay, it's time to leave, she actually hid and refused to come out. We had to go hunting for her because I think she just fell in love with Seaside. And I think that she just didn't want to leave. She's such a sweetheart. All right. So, anything that you guys want to share? Hi, Yvette. Hi to K Travel, Sybil in the house, Yvette Fish. Valerie is here. Rose Blue. A Real Housewife of Antelope Valley. Hello. Let me get my thing. We can go ahead and do the impasse prayer. Rebecca, hello. Deborah Long, hello. Hi, Deborah. Karen W. is in the house. Joyce Pietris, thank you for your help today. Laura Hammond Davis, DP. Looks like Joel is off today, right? Is Joel on vacation? I think he's away. Is that correct? Are we missing our Joel? That's okay. Rose Blue, hello. Is the Purple Crown some sort of competition? Beats me. Ooh, Rebecca's having sweet potato chips. Yeah, tell us where you're coming from. Tell us what you're eating, what you're drinking. Like we say, this brunch extends to the four corners of the earth. We invite you to join us. There's only one rule: be kind to all, so that all will be kind to you too. Um, and yeah, we just share our table, and we share our food, we share our lives. We get tarot card readings, and it's pretty laid back, and anyone's invited to join us. Uh, Race, creed, religion, political affiliation doesn't matter on Sundays. We just ask you to be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. Political slogans get to be silly, MAGA or make. I just, yeah. We get it occasionally. We don't delete it. We just kind of think it's kind of like, whatever. Okay, and we announced that we are doing the Senior Dogs fundraiser again for the month. We're trying to help as many seniors. A lot of dogs getting abandoned because of economic problems. People get divorced or they have financial problems. They've had a dog maybe 5 years. So what's happening is we're seeing a lot of senior dogs getting dumped, and for that reason, I chose it. I'm just putting a lot of effort into this particular fundraiser because I'm kind of, when things are going bad with us, things go worse with animals, right? Because when humans are unhappy, when humans don't have money, pets can't eat, right? So those are the things we think about. Hi, Jen, Seattle Book Lady. Good to see you. Desiree Rabato. Hello. Deborah Brady, Future Shaper. She's a filmmaker, creative director. She's been producing a series of films that are quite intriguing. Hopefully she can tell us a little bit about that, and also give some links regarding our crumbling democracy and hopefully what we can do about it. Debbie is also a creative director if you need help on any film projects, and she also does talent management. She's a busy person, in addition to being just a nice person and an activist. But Debbie, if you can give links, it would be great if as many people possible find out about the film and documentary work you're doing, because I think it's important. And if you want to post it on the Oracle of Whimsy, I think that'd be great. She also oversees our fan pages over at the Oracle of Whimsy, which is on Facebook. And if you join, Debbie is kind enough, she selects one person to receive a free reading with me once a month. So thank you for that. So we're talking about whether or not to stay or leave the United States. If you did decide to leave the United States, as I have, tell us what factors led to that decision. Was it the current political situation? Was it just that you always wanted to? You're like me, you're travel, you just love to travel. I live very simply. All I need is a room and my cat, and my money all goes to travel. That's just my personality. I'm a broke aristocrat. All my money goes to just experiences and living the life of the gypsy. Now, you may be different. You may be someone who doesn't travel. You save for a rainy day. You've paid off your house. That would be the exact opposite of me. I don't have it in me. I would, I have a tremendous fear of being trapped in a cage. I have an irrational fear of being trapped. And this is why something happened. I simply cannot be stable. I start to get, anybody else like this where you just got to keep moving? Am I like the only digital nomad? I move slowly. I move slowly. I do move, but every 3 years seems to be my limit. I can only stay more than 3 years and I get a little weird. So now we're hitting my 3 year mark, so it's time to move on. I'm excited to see Merida, but there's a lot pointing to Tijuana, Rosarita, Tijuana for me, just because it's close to the border. I can go back to work. There's plenty of clinics hiring naturopath. I can just be, it's like San Diego at half the price. It takes you 40 minutes to go through the border. And if you have business in San Diego, it's a mostly expat community. It's secure, it's safe, the crime is very low, the air quality is good. I can get a 1 bedroom for, really nice, even with the gringa tax, it's going to be much more affordable than downtown Portland, Oregon. And then there's places like Murado, which just have really good air quality. And if you're depressed, you have to take into consideration your environment. I don't agree with this idea, well, you got to work on yourself. And if you leave, that's kind of a first world problem. You're assuming the person has food to eat. They're not getting shot at. They're not being abused. It's not a toxic environment. Human beings aren't much different than plants. We need to go to an environment that's going to nurture us. I don't believe in this all powerful, it's all your fault. And if you're feeling negative, no, I think we're human beings. Human beings are social creatures and we have certain biological needs in order to be happy and healthy. Clean air is vital to your organism. If you're taking shallow breaths, if you're not getting adequate oxygen, I'm a doctor, by the way. There's only so many limits. I've seen people with positive attitudes survive very difficult illnesses, but they're still sick. You need proper food, proper nutrition, proper sleep, non-toxic, non-stressful relationships, right? Living in a home that's, a war zone is going to shorten your lifespan. Yeah, so that's the situation. Okay, we're going to go ahead. We'll do the Empath prayer, and then would you all like to get a collective reading? Yeah, Kay is a world traveler right now. She's dealing with some health challenges. She's trying to get on her feet. She's a cat sitter extraordinaire. Thank you for doing that. So it's all about vibe. It's all about finding out, is it time for you to leave or is it time for you to stay? Ooh, gateway meditation. That sounds very interesting. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to do the Empath prayer. We're going to bring it together here, and then everyone's going to get a collective reading. I've been thinking about Barcelona. I've been drawn to Barcelona. If I get an affordable place to live in a village in Mexico, that's only $600 a month versus $1,700 a month here in Portland, then that saves me money so that I can travel more often. I mean, I think in terms of how much travel, my sister's the same way. We just want to travel. My goal is to see every country on earth. Every country on earth. I want to see it all. You're going to die. I'm going to die someday. My son has been out of country since high school in Buenos Aires, now in his second year in Barcelona. Digital nomad, just checked in from a London outpost. Yes, I love it. Your son's living the life. Yes, see the world. Squeeze as much as you can from life. Don't spend your days in bed watching YouTube videos unless you're getting some merit out of it. Hopefully you get some merit out of hanging out with me, get some suggestions, ideas, etc. But it's important that you squeeze as much experience as you can from your life. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do the empath prayer. If anyone would like to receive a healing at this time, we can go ahead and pray for you or pray for those you love. And then we will be happy to include them in our prayers today. And yeah, let's go ahead. We're going to bring in the empath's prayer. Oh, you're at 45 countries. Very good. I think you're ahead of me, Kay. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively as a community, we say, Amen. And for those of you who are requesting a healing at this time, we pray for you and for those you love. We pray that you receive a perfect healing, that you receive a perfect healing in mind, body, and spirit. And we come together collectively, and together we say, Amen, Amen, Amen. May all souls be healed. May all souls be healed. All right, what is your future? This is a collective reading for all of you. Find what speaks to you. If it doesn't speak to you, you can go ahead and just pass it on to the next person in the group. It's like a smorgasbord. It's like Miss Wilkes. Ever eaten at Miss Wilkes boarding house in Savannah, Georgia? You really should give it a try. Yeah, you sit at the table. They put a bunch of food on the table. You take what you like, and if you don't like it, you just pass it down. Pass it down to the next person, right? All right, let's take a look. What is in your future? The future message that we need to hear right now through the cards. What do you need to know now in order to be happy? Where you are at right now, the base of the matter, the message for you at this time from Spirit is that it is important for you to understand that even though you are just a human being, even though you are just a human being and you make mistakes, it's easy for us to attack ourselves because we are just people, right? It's easy for us to be angry at ourselves because we're selfish, or we're needy, or we lie, we cheat, we do all these terrible things. We are weak because we are people, right? See, it's easy for us to do that. The message from your spirit guides at this time is to give yourself a little bit of grace and be a little bit nice to yourself, in the sense that you are somebody on a journey to seek the truth. And for that reason, you deserve respect. And the fact that you're a human being. It's interesting that the base card is the Page of Swords. And the Page of Swords is a desire for the truth. It's also associated with Archangel Michael. So it is basically a message to you that you are a truth seeker, that you are somebody who is on a journey to seek the truth, right? And then your karma card is the Ace of Swords, which is to be victorious in your life, in your journey, in your pursuit of the truth. So I think that the main thing to take, you don't need to have a residency visa. You can live there for 6 months. You have a free visa for 6 months if you're an American, and if you're traveling back and forth. But yeah, I can apply for. I will apply if I like it. I'm just going to give it 6 months, and if I don't like it, I'll go try another country. But yeah, as a digital nomad, you would just get a residency. But you don't have to for the first 6 months, because Americans have 6 months visas, and every time you leave, it re-ups again. So a lot of people just get left alone, and you're retired and nobody bothers you. But it just depends on your situation. But there are a lot of expats that have lived years in Baja, and they don't have any papers. They just drive to San Diego, visit friends, and then come back. And it's only a 40-minute drive, so nobody cares. That's the bottom line. They've got bigger fish to fry, like dealing with drug cartels and some senior that's renting a cheap place, a cheap studio in Rosarita. You know? They don't care. But what's interesting here is that you've got this truth card coming up for you and the Page of Swords, right? So Page of Swords is about truth. It's about knowledge. And Ace of Swords is about being oh, hi, Fran. I just noticed Fran was here. Fran is an author, really great author. It's interesting to see this kind of juxtaposition, because they're saying, yeah, you're hard on yourself, you got a temper, you're cranky, you're imperfect, but you're also somebody who is really ferociously trying to find the truth for yourself. And for that reason, you should be respected. You should be respected for your sincere efforts in finding the truth. And as long as, yes, I will check out Thailand as well. I just need to get Kay to agree to. Kay, can you live in my home? I got to get Kay to move in for a month, and then I'll feel like I can travel. I can see all of Thailand. Yeah. So truth seeking is your calling at this time, truth seeking, and also that truth will set you free, in a sense, because Ace of Swords is an amazing card to get. It has to do with victory in what one is pursuing. It's also a 1-year period. I read Swords as the year card. Most readers do. And so it's basically saying that this is as long as you seek the truth and you are honest with yourself about who you are and are not so judgmental, it's very important for you to be honest with yourself about who you are. It's like me trying to be a vegan. A lot of vegans were not happy with the fact that I couldn't do it. I'm O positive, Northern European mostly, right? So my body type it isn't working. Okay. So You just got to be true to yourself. Uh, you have also, this is a time of great wisdom and knowledge. You're collecting a ton of knowledge, a ton of wisdom. You should be very proud of yourself. I mean, the Hermit, again, is about collecting knowledge, and it's about seeking truth. Look at these cards, they're awesome. You've got Archangel Michael as your base card, the Sword of Truth. By the way, the Sword of Truth is what destroys the devil, and the devil is a liar. So what they're saying is pursue. Yes, my astrocartography is excellent in Mexico. My friend Darlene did my cartography and said I would do very well in Mexico. So that was why I chose Mexico. Also, it's close to the United States. I don't have to change my phone number if I'm in Tijuana. It's basically San Diego. I think it's the easiest. You just go over the border. You can rent 3 to 6 months with a 6-month visa as an American. And then it renews every time you drive to San Diego. And a lot of people do that. They'll do it for a couple of years until they decide what they want to do. It's only a 40-minute drive. I mean, you can take the bus. Um, I know girls that do it, ladies that do it. They go with their friends to San Diego. They visit the beach. They go to the pier. They have lunch. And then they come back in the night after they've gathered up. There's a lot of stuff you can't get in Mexico that they can get in San Diego. And so they and their friends get all their stuff, and then they head back to Tijuana. It works. Whatever works for you. It's just basically San Diego at half the price. Okay. It's basically a suburb of San Diego. There's so many Americans that the police are told to leave them alone. So that's basically, yeah. The crossing card is packing up and moving. I'm telling you, people, a lot of y'all are getting up and moving, and it's this truth seeking that is going on with all of us. We have got to find our place in the world. Hi, Elemental, you did. Glad to see you here. We are giving a psychic reading for the collective, and what we're finding from the collective energy is really kind of exciting. We're finding out that the majority of the people here are incredibly honest, hardworking, decent people that just want the truth. And we're starting to find out that you're people that are on a journey of the truth, and that the truth has led you. So I'm learning all kinds of things about what collectively brought you here. This is what's wonderful about the collective reading. You thought you were alone and you didn't have any friends, and nobody thought like you, and you're a freak, and blah, 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 and nobody had a childhood as crappy as you. Like all these things that we think, and then we come to a place like this and find that we too have a tribe of freaks and geeks that never really fit into any organized religion, right, Debbie? Debbie and I have talked about this, but yet we live spiritual lives, even if, that fundamentalism doesn't really work for me, right, Debbie? That doesn't work, but I'm a spiritual person, right? It's interesting that Debbie's here because I've done remote viewings on Debbie's past lifetimes, not to signal her out, but in Debbie's past lifetime, she was often a spiritual leader, like a priest or a minister or clergy, right? So it was her job to lead the flock, right? Lead the flock to the truth. Many past lifetimes as a general. It's interesting also psychically when you get into someone's Akashic field like Debbie, you see that there's a huge similarity between the shaman and the general. But you see that overlap between the warrior and the shaman. I've got to get my people to safety. I've got to hold I think Queen Elizabeth personified that she was a warrior. She served in the military. She served her time as a mechanic in the military. She could fight, and she held the collective space for the community, and she held the ethics for the community. I don't know why, but Debbie, psychically, I feel like I'm getting a lot of messages for her today. Maybe that's channeled to the rest of the group right now, but that kind of North Star that Debbie is, that it can be something that is a guide for all of us to just stick to the truth, like the films that she's producing right now. It's just the truth. Get the truth out, and then you can make the best decisions for you once you have the truth. But you need to start with a foundation of the truth. And Archangel Michael comes to you now that says, you got to get real. Are you happy where you're at right now? And if not, why not? And what do I what do I need to change? Do I need to get the hell out of Dodge and go to Tijuana for 6 months? Put my stuff in storage. It doesn't work out. My stuff is in storage. I just moved to Vancouver, Washington, has cheaper taxes. What's the worst that's going to happen? Right? It's got great health care. There's tons of clinics that want to hire me. I have friends that work out there. So I go back to work. I work just like I did. The truth of the matter is, it'll be like I was in people are like, you were so much happier in LA. Sunny weather, speaking Spanish, great food, giggling every day, having fun. I'm telling you, I went through, for me personally, moving to Portland has been really taken away from my joy. Oh, hi, Mark. Hello, my love. And all my friends are Californians. No, but Ten of Wands is to carry a heavy load. And also the fact that you've got that scholar coming in right now is telling me, oh, happy Pride Month, by the way. Mark just sent the little hearts. It's June. Be safe out there. Don't make me come after you. Everybody stay safe. Happy Pride. Listen, Ten of Wands, like I'm saying, many of you may decide that in order to live a truthful, honest life, it's time for you to move on, either in your relationships or physically from your home or both. These cards, I mean, this is crazy, to be honest with you, this remote view I'm doing for the group today, because like I said, truth, victory, look at this, truth, victory, self-exploration, hard work, a heavy load, packing up and leaving. What is above you? A raging in your head, a raging in your head. Maybe you're feeling like, oh my God, I'm going to die out here in this horrible place I live with these horrible people, right? You know, like maybe, or maybe it's political. I don't like the, excuse me, I don't like the current administration, so that's why I'm leaving. But whatever is going on, excuse me, didn't mean to. Whatever is going on with you, there is a violent storm in the head. It presents as a violent storm in the head. I think that many of us are conflicted. I think we're conflicted. It's like Whimsy putting everything in storage and going to Mexico for 6 months. You know, just taking a break, right? Maybe most people come back, by the way. Something like 80% of Americans can't make it through the first 3 years. The police are crazy, right? All that's glittered is not gold, right? So, but Ten of Wands, like I said, would indicate this movement here and a new beginning. Archangel Uriel sits in your third house. He is the pilgrim. He sings the pilgrim song. He is also transformation personified. There's a rage inside you on the top of your head, and you're sitting in the birth. You're giving birth to a new internal self through Uriel. Uriel is really interesting. He creates a new path for you. But what's interesting is that the chameleon is on his shirt. You are changing with the times. This is the conversation that Spirit wanted to have with you. Can you change with the times? Can you change with the times? Because Our ability to adapt to a stressor, allostasis, our emotional ability to adapt to stresses and to take ourselves back to center after a trauma, homeostasis, allostasis. As we get older, it's going to get harder and harder and harder to change, right? To admit, wow, I was really wrong about that political view, or I no longer agree with the opinion I had before regarding this issue, right? So you could interpret your cards as the fact that you're on a verge of a major change in your life, and you may not totally be okay with those changes. You may feel like Spock in the seventh year. You ever see the movie Spock? When seventh year, he goes all crazy, right? Uh, so you could be in a situation like Spock, the seventh year, where he's all going through some major changes because you have this aspect of the Page of Wands where you're being birthed into something and it's making you a little bit crazy and it's pulling you potentially out of where you're at. But what they're saying is all this anxiety and stress you're having right now is ultimately good for you because you're a truth seeker and it's bringing you closer to the truth. And so for that reason, it's ultimately good for you. And what you're coming out of is, man, are you a deep person? Seriously thinking about my life. I'm seriously thinking about my future. I'm serious. What will become of me? What is death? Who am I? Right? Four of Pentacles is to closely examine the self. I call it the Buddha card. It's also a frugality card and about holding on to the coin. But frugality is only the tip of the iceberg of what the Four of Pentacles is, because the Four of Pentacles is about a deep sense of self. This is my Butsudan in the background, right? Where we chant, meditate, and we examine the self. This is his Butsudan, which acts as a mirror of self. He holds it up like a mirror to the self. He's grounded by the coins. He's sitting on a solid chair, as above, so below. He's got it all, his consciousness, his higher self, and he's grounded with the coins. Being frugal, being responsible with your money. Those are all things we think about with Four of Pentacles, but the spiritual deeper meaning is that the person goes into an inward state of self-examination, and that means less outward energy. So you may have been highly introverted. It could be all kinds of things, COVID, but there's this introversion and frugality that you're coming out of, and headed into a time of you are beginning to have anxiety about issues regarding frugality. Perhaps you feel like you're becoming increasingly squeezed because of the economic situation. You can see Four of Swords, which is that if you are a frog who's in a pot that is slowly boiling, you may now be perceiving that something is wrong. If you're feeling that you have spent too much money, or you have overextended yourself, Eight of Swords, and put yourself in a situation, a bind that you cannot get out of, frugality is not going to be enough. You may feel that life in the United States is no longer sustainable, or your current life is no longer sustainable and has to change. You can see that heavy load lays ahead that you're going to have to do in order to fix this situation of feeling overly restricted. Because that's what they're talking about. They're talking about being overly restricted, Eight of Swords, feeling frustrated, Knight of Swords, facing a new beginning, a heavy load, heavy studies over you. Like, I got to figure that. Use supercomputers. I'm telling you, they work great. And that Victory card is your base, man. I love that. That karma. The karma card is the Ace of Swords. So they're saying as long as you pursue the truth, you're going to be fine. Your immediate environment. The environment right now is you as the gypsy queen, my way or the highway, fighting for your territory, fighting for that which is yours, fighting for that which you believe is right. My way, my space, right? So you could feel that your world is becoming increasingly small and you're having more and more and more to fight for what little space you have. I simplify your life. I got 6 tote bags I ordered. Not expensive. You can zip them up. It's so much better than a box because you can reuse them. And boy, Whimsy really, she's really getting into this. She's really leaving. Yeah, so I'm going to start my packing today. Got to get the packing in early. But 10 of Wands, heavy load, overstressed, overcommitted, 8 of Swords. Start cutting up those bills. Start getting rid of subscriptions that don't serve you. Start thinking about if you've got more responsibilities than you want or need. Think about overcommitted to people, places, and things that are not rewarding you. 8 of Swords is all about being trapped by your taxes, trapped, just too much red tape and frugality. Red tape and frugality, like me and my taxes that are due. Ay, 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 right? Your opposition is the 4 of Swords, which could be inertia, depression, not wanting to get out of bed, apathy. Those are all things that could be your obstacle to cure. 4 of Swords can be a deep need for recovery after surgery, right? 4 of Swords is when the person's just like wiped out and they need to rest. It's a state of going into what we call samadhi or deep meditation or deep prayer. It stands in your house of opposition. So it could be that you feel like you can't move or you're depressed or you don't want to get out of bed. And that could be because you don't know what to do to make yourself happy. And so sometimes you have to make a list. What do you need in order to experience optimal health? For me, I need good air quality because because I've got all these allergies and things going on. I want good food, good street tacos. I want a low crime rate. I want nice weather, the cool breeze, right? Start making a list of what you need in order to have optimal health. Oh, we have a birthday. Happy birthday, Ann Dillon. So my point is this. If you can't move, but you know something is wrong because the pot has been slowly coming to a boil and you feel like you're the frog in the pot and I know something's wrong, but I'm confused. I feel uncomfortable in my body. Then the first is to start with the basics of what you need in order to be healthy and happy. Look at your air quality, look at your living conditions, and look to see if the people close to you are doing their part to make sure that you're happy. You have to do your part. Are they obstructing it? Are they indifferent? What's going on with your interpersonal relationships? Because what this looks like is that you could be so close to your situation, it's hard for you to stand back and even see your situation objectively. Your hope and your fear at this time, Knight of Cups is romance. It's it's a desire to get back to the joy and optimism of the Knight of Cups. He goes off on a quest to find the Holy Grail. It's a very romantic night. Could be a desire for a little bit of romance, getting back into your life a little bit, going off on a quest or an adventure in the future. And then the final outcome for you is the King of Wands. The final message for the universe to you is that nobody is going to hand you happiness. That is not how this world was constructed. This world was constructed as a learning experience. It's just like It's like a Nintendo game with a learning experience. So enjoy the process. But if you do not get yourself out of the bed, if you do not make efforts to untie yourself and to find out what is holding you back and making you depressed and make concerted efforts to fight to change your situation, it will not change. The King of Wands and the Queen of Wands are fighters. She is his consort. Often, in the Yoruba tradition, it's the relationship between Chango and Oshun. They're both fire signs, passion and war. And so, what they're saying, if you are not willing to fight for your own life, very little will change for you. A new beginning awaits you. Sometimes you're afraid of new beginnings because you don't know what tomorrow will bring. If you get back into your life and try new things, new adventures, it would go very well for you financially. And some of you are going to be doing side gigs and starting your own businesses with this newfound change upon you. If you're willing to save yourself, the universe will meet you. Seek the truth, be honest about your situation, and be willing to do the hard work necessary to change. If you do that, you could improve your health dramatically, and you could wind up financially in a better situation as well, because many of you are going to be starting businesses, side hustles, and new career opportunities within the year. Okay, so that is your reading. I hope it gave you some clarity. Did everybody benefit from your collective reading? You can take a snapshot, but you don't really need to because it's recorded. You guys want to talk about it? You got married. I got married and it was horrible. I felt like I was in a cage. I was like, get me out of here. Help. Rescue me. Let me out. Let me out. Did you hear about that guy who taught his parrot how to say, let me out, let me out, let me out? And the cops called the cop. The police, the neighbors called the cops. Guy was out working on his deck, and the cops showed up because they heard, let me out, let me out. And the guy was really calm. Oh, yeah. When the cops showed up, we've been hearing screaming, somebody wanting to be let out. Oh, yeah, that's my parrot. It takes about just, and the parrot's like, oh, let me out. It's pretty funny. They thought he was like holding some woman hostage. What was like funny was when they let the parrot out and introduced him to the cops, the parrot was visibly thrilled. I'm out and I'm meeting all these cool, I've got all this attention. This is exactly what I wanted. It was very funny. Okay, so let me out. We will blitz away. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. We can do a couple blitzes if you like for the future. Any unanswered questions about politics, the world, global, people in the news, like Mr. Diddy. Any blitz questions, we can go ahead and do it. What was he saying? He was saying, let me out or something, right? I think it went viral, right? I just think it's pretty funny. Okay, let me see here. Oh my God, we got trapped in commercial hell. What is this? They keep doing that to me. Oh, yeah, he was fixing his car. That was what he was doing, right? He was fixing his car. He was fixing his car and his parrot wanted out.
Rambo. Oh, really? I'll bring out the screamer to you. Stay in there. Rambo. He's the boys in green.
Oh my gosh, you're wearing the same color.
Rambo. Yellow and Empath. Rambo. Say hello. Rambo. Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Gonna get that guy arrested. Yeah, there we go. Oh my goodness. Rambo was gonna get him in trouble. I swear. I just thought that was funny. Yeah, can you believe it? Thank God they didn't come out with their guns or anything like that. Yeesh, you know what I mean? Oh, Carol V feels like she is stuck. To return to San Diego after forced moved to Northwest, I ended up with a health challenge that forced me back to the Northwest. I am at 82 and I feel I am stuck with no hope. So I'm sorry you feel that way, Carol. The message from Spirit is to begin to bravely look at your situation and why you feel stuck, and then move towards the heavy work necessary in order to become happy. It didn't say you had to physically move from your location, though some of you would physically move. It said you have to be willing to do the work of being honest. If you are not happy, you should not lie to yourself about it. If you feel stuck, Carol, then you should be honest about it and find out, what is going on with my physical body that I don't feel good. Am I doing anything right now that is obstructing my health? Would I be healthier somewhere else? Can I get healthier where I'm at right now, or is it actually an obstacle to cure? I looked at Portland, and Portland is not working. I looked at the taxes, $4,000 a year in taxes. That is not being used in ways that make Oregon a livable city. I'm just pouring massive amounts of taxes to treat all these homeless people that show up in Oregon, and it's just like my home's a war zone, and I just keep pouring money into that. That's and then I'm going to wind up on the street. Like, this is not working for me. So the taxes were a big issue but it was also just safety of downtown and just seeing the situation. And thank you for, we are continuing to raise money for the senior dogs. If you felt that the reading so far has been entertaining and helpful to you, please think about supporting senior dogs with making a donation. Okay, this question is coming up from Diva. Diva wants to know, will J.P. Pritzker, governor of Illinois, run for president in 2028? Let's find out. Ace of Swords, yes, and he could win. Who is this guy? He pulled double aces, Ace of Wands. He's a very strong contender. Where's he from? Governor of Illinois. He does very well, but there's a possibility he will lose because of somebody else. However, yeah, it shows him losing. Ten of Swords. It's with the Queen of Cups. However, he is a strong contender. He has pulled double aces, so he could be an important person in the future politically. Possibly, he could be. I think it's very likely with these cards that he could even go on to be part of the administration. Let me see, pull it back a little bit, see if that doesn't help you see it a little better. Just because his cards are so strong that for leadership, there's something here about a situation coming up. If he's married, it could be a problem with his wife, Ten of Swords. If it's not, there's just something coming on up with the Ten of Swords over maybe his wife gets sick or something like that. I don't know, but Ten of Swords is moving in over the Queen of Cups, and there's a heartbreak here. Could be a family emergency or something is going to come up. Well, I hear Aruba is great, but I also hear Aruba is expensive. Is that correct? Like the problem with islands, as much as I love, oh, thank you, Rebecca, for that donation. The problem with islands is that they're very expensive for things like dairy, because everything has to be shipped in. Like Iceland is founded by Vikings, and Vikings have to have their dairy, right? Dairy is life if you're a Viking, but they don't have cows. They don't have a lot of cows in Iceland, right? So all their precious dairy has to be brought in from Ireland and other places. So you have to think about where. I love Iceland. Iceland is top of the list of one of my favorite countries, but I could see myself traveling and living there for 3 months on a tourist visa, just 3 months. Can we get 3 months? Just to really slow travel through Iceland, because it's just such a great place. Yeah. The issue of changes over healthcare in the United States is something that's come up a lot in the sense that, people are actually leaving the country and going other places to experience their health, good healthcare. Let's take a look at the future of healthcare in the United States, Medicare, Medicaid, etc. Is it affordable? Is it affordable to get sick in the United States? That's the other question we have to ask ourselves. Lovers. There's more people working directly with medical groups because the situation is not tenable. Lovers would be cooperation and working directly with doctors. So it's like when I had my dental care done, I just paid the doctor directly month to month. But lovers would indicate that what's probably going to happen with healthcare in the future in the United States is that people will be able to work directly with their healthcare providers in order to save money. Four of Cups is good in the opposition. I'm not saying we should do what Luigi did and shoot people, but these cards would indicate that they're coming up with ways to work with the business community so that it's more affordable. There are going to be new healthcare business models emerging that are more cooperative, just because lovers and also your legacy and more of these types of clinics are showing up that are affordable, it's direct, and it also appears that a new business model is emerging for healthcare in the United States that is less top heavy. And the reason I say that is because you've got this Lovers card moving into seventh position over healthcare, which would indicate reaching across the aisle. And 10 of Pentacles would be an indication of an inheritance. The opposition was that it was too much paperwork. 8 of Swords and also a 4 of Cups would indicate they wouldn't budge. So those were the problems that we started to have with healthcare. Too much red tape, 4 of Cups not taking claims. And so now we have, well, I'm just going to avoid you altogether and go into this new model, which is Lovers and 10 of Cups. Hopes and fears, poverty, that I will be impoverished by my healthcare. 5 of Cups is poverty. A new beginning is emerging. 4 of Wands with the healthcare. This is like a new model. And we have this nice scholarship coming in over the business world. I'm thinking they're going to get rid of a lot of the expense that has to do with being top heavy. I don't know. I don't know if it's a Republican or if it's a Democratic thing. It could be a model that emerges just from. It's just a new business model. You know, it's a new business model where you work more directly with doctors, and they're trying to get rid of the top heavy. 8 of Swords is all about being overextended. 4 of Cups is no willingness to budge. You know what I mean? So for that reason, we're going to see a massive overhaul of insurance companies in the coming years. I think it's great. Like the Zoom healthcare. You guys know Zoom healthcare. It's awesome. You just make an appointment, go directly to the doctor and pay. It's a lot more affordable. So that's what this model looks like. It's just a lot less top heavy. All right, this question is coming up about the future of India. A lot of people are worried about India because they got very close to going to war with Pakistan. Hopefully they'll cool things down because it has been a little bit crazy. Let's look at the future of Pakistan. Oh, good. So Fran is part of this new business model, and hopefully she's happy with it, but it sounds like it's working for her. Good. All right, the future of India. India's future is strong. Sun is coming over India. They were very worried about an economic crash. It's their karma. Yeah, they're coming into their karma. They are reaping what they sow. Every country that used to be a British colony is struggling with violence because violence and division are what the British do. It's the Buddhist description of anger. The angry person from a Buddhist perspective is the person that gets people to fight and then sits there smiling, watching others fight. Well, he said this, she said that. And that's really how the British divided and conquered Palestine. That's how they divided and conquered India, well, the Pakistani, the Muslims, well, the Hindus. They did the same thing in Africa. So the fact that there's all this tension between Pakistan and India and it all got carved up, that is the product, that's the reaction to British hegemony, right? It's all action, reaction. You had British hegemony and then you had the reaction. Same with Palestine. You had British hegemony, now you have the reaction, right? Netanyahu is a good British man, right? Like Netanyahu acts like a Brit. He's all about divide and conquer. He loves divide and conquer, right? It's a continuation of that ideology of divide and conquer. So what you have here for the future of India is you have that it is strong, the sun is over India, but you also have this concern about civil war or collapse and that it will meet its karma. It's very difficult to extract yourself from the tit for tat that is the legacy of former British colonies, because this is what the British left everywhere, is getting the natives to hate each other. So that it will go on for generations and generations and generations. And then the British will have to come in to keep law and order and continue to occupy, to keep the natives from killing each other, right? So that was the whole argument. India, walking away, war. They're going to have to give up some of their bravado if they want to avoid war. And the final outcome for India, grief. They are going to have to deal with Pakistan. They're going to have to deal with the problems because because what they're basically saying here is Ten of Swords, Tower, Knight of Swords is war. They're basically saying that India will have to find real solutions to their problems with Pakistan because the problem isn't going away. Yeah. Am I the only one that's thinking of leaving the United States? Are the rest of you staying? Well, some of you live in other countries already. Oh, you get 3 months in Europe, then you have to leave the EU for 3 months. Yeah, so it works out well for a digital nomad because a digital nomad never stays anywhere for more than 3 months anyway. The other great thing about being a digital nomad is if you base yourself in some place like Mexico, Tijuana, where it's just cheaper rent than San Diego until the prices change and then you got to move again. At the very least, you're saving money for travel in other countries. You know, you just have it as a home base. You want to have a cheap home base. Mexico is a good place to have a good cheap home base. There aren't a lot of cheap home bases in the United States. So if you're somebody who loves to travel with your cat, you may want to pick another place to keep your stuff. Like a small village in Mexico where you're paying $400 a month to store you and your cat, and the local woman comes and it's like, that would be better than storing your stuff for $1,700 a month at a studio in downtown Portland. So it's also just about, like, I want to see the world. I want to travel the world. This is my thing. I want to see the world. I want to travel the world. And so I also have to think in terms, while I'm still healthy, thank God, knock on wood. So that's another thing I have to think about, getting my expenses down, living in a place that's safe, being, a place that's going to be healthy, lots of fresh fruits and vegetables. That's all exciting, right? I will never marry again either. Yes. I never will marry I'll be no man's wife. I intend to live single all the days of my life. I never will marry. I'll be no man's wife. I intend to live single all the days of my life. You guys know that song? Okay, there was a question here I wanted to get to. What I'm going to do, my income is less than $1,000 a month. Well, if it's over, it's less than $1,000 a month, then I would think about someplace that's less expensive, and I would also do a side gig, a couple of hours a week. But if it's only $1,000 a month, then you probably are better suited to moving to a place like Philippines, where you could probably get a nice studio for $250, $300 a month, and healthcare is pretty good in Philippines. Yeah, still great opportunities in the Philippines, some parts of South America. And then I would also look at a second side hustle. But if a person is that broke, then they should think about retiring in a country that it's more affordable. But a lot of retirees have moved to the Philippines for that reason. Yeah. Just study. I mean, remember what today's reading was for the group is seek the truth in your life. Seek the truth for what is best for you. Sometimes we do need to leave if it's an abusive environment or if it's, bad air quality. These are real concerns. You don't have to be a hero. If things are not working, if your life is being overridden by too many obligations, etc., you may want to think about moving. That's what the messages were today. Yeah, Philippines is beautiful. I've heard a lot of really good stuff, and there's a lot of really great countries I look forward to seeing in the coming years, God willing, if I stay healthy. And the Philippines are definitely on the list. All right, I want to thank you all so much for your love and your support of this channel. If you need to see me as a reader, I do see people for phone readings. That information is below. I'm also a naturopathic physician and a medical intuitive. So if you need a consult, you can book for that as well. All right, that's all I have for you today. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. Thank you, Debbie, for putting that information up for people trying to book. Also, check out our Oracle of Whimsy fan pages. Debbie's been kind enough to develop those for us. You could win a free reading with me if you join. And check out our introductory readings. I do have 5-minute readings if you want to test me as a reader. A lot of people do that before they schedule a 30-minute or an hour. They just have one question. It's real cheap. I think it's something like $35, and you get a 5-10 minute taped reading from me. So check that benefit out. Real simple to do. You just ask the question, order through Wizio, and within a couple of days you get a taped answer from me. Real cheap, real fun, real easy. Check out our merch developed by the amazing Debbie Brady. All the beautiful stuff, designs you see are courtesy of Debbie Brady. And I think that's all I have for you. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. And we will see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Love you guys. Thank you so much. And thank you for your donations to Senior Dogs. It's much, much appreciated.